Hello people, this is Chris aka Sonic72 and welcome back to another episode of Random Creepypasta Stories. Now today in Random Creepypasta Stories we look at another Sonic Creepypasta called Tails Abuse. So without further ado, let's begin this Creepypasta. I'm a retro gamer. I have debated both great recent and old games, but especially the ones created by Sega. Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage, Sonic, Golden Axe, but a month ago something happened. Something made me look at these wonderful games in another perspective. It was a foggy night, 3 AM to be more specific. I was playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the emulator, since I wasn't sleepy. I chose both Sonic and Tails as my characters and started playing. After reaching Chemical Plant Zone, I got bored, so I decided to play low with these characters. I went to the part of the zone where I could find many enemies such as a grabber, a spider that grabs the character and self-destructs, and Spiny who shoots balls of acid. I used Tails to have a little fun, since he's invincible and imitates every move Sonic makes. I took a few steps so the enemy could see me, and when it attacked, I ran, leaving Tails behind. I did that several times until something weird happened. All of a sudden, Tails' animation changed to the one he makes when he drowns. And the sound was different too. It was the sound your character makes when it touches a spike without having any rings left. The sound was very loud too, even more than usual. I thought it was a bug since the game was playing on an emulator. I waited for Tails to appear again, but he never showed up. I decided to reset the game. Everything was normal, except for the part where the logo was supposed to appear, showing Sonic and Tails smiling. When I looked at it, Tails was missing. He just wasn't there at all. And instead of smiling, Sonic had a weird reaction, like he was disappointed or depressed. I was getting a little scared. Since it was too weird to be a simple emulator bug, I tried to dodge it and began playing again. I went to the options to choose both Sonic and Tails like I did the last time, but the only options there were only Sonic. The other options were missing. I didn't know what to think. I began playing, and when I looked at Sonic's sprite in the Emerald Hill Zone, he had the wrong expression. He looked very uncomfortable, like when you don't touch the controller for some time. I controlled Sonic, but even running, his expression didn't change. I was seriously creeped out, so I closed the emulator and turned on my Sega Genesis so I could play it correctly without all those. I didn't even know what to call, but I'm sure those weren't bugs. When I started the game, Sega's logo was different. It was red and the sound was louder, like the one I heard when Tails disappeared. I tried to believe it was just a glitch, but the console was already very old and I started to get my doubts. Despite of that weird glitch, everything was back to normal. Tails was there again, the sprites were okay, the sound too. I sighed in a relief and started playing. When I reached the boss, I didn't have any rings and accidentally, Tails touched Robotnik's car and it made the same animation he made on Chemical Plant Zone and the game froze. I started freaking out and reset it. The screen was now white, no Sega logo, no sprites, no sounds, no nothing. I quit. I was very creeped out by now and when I went to turn off the console, a text box appeared. I couldn't believe it. I had never seen such a thing in this game. I was even more surprised by a text. You killed him. I tried to press all the buttons in the controller, but nothing worked. I also tried to turn off the console, but I couldn't. I even tried to turn off the television, but I was very scared by now. I sat on the sofa and grabbed the controller. Again, another text box appeared. You destroyed his life. Are you going to try to destroy mine too? Are you having fun? Are you? I pressed the button A again, and I was now in Chemical Plant Zone. The background was different, though. The background was more darker than usual, and I could see different shades of red. Was it blood? Oh my gosh, of course blood! The music was different too. It was the boss's music, but reversed and slow. Only Sonic was there. The gameplay was normal besides the little thing. When I defeated an enemy, instead of a sprite of a bunny or a chicken, I would see the same animal, but torn apart, and in a puddle of blood. The blood was so real. Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna bother with this. I didn't even reach the second stage. In the end of the first stage, I couldn't control Sonic anymore. He began running for 2 minutes. When he stopped, another text box appeared. Are you ready? Ready to see what you've done to him? I was speechless. I asked myself what I could have done to let this happen. But then I realized, did I kill Tails? I couldn't believe it. It was just a game. It was a bunch of codes. I couldn't do such a thing. Then another text box appeared, but this one was different. There was just a yes or no option. I didn't hesitate and chose no. I knew it. I couldn't have chose that option. I had to choose yes. The game wanted me to choose yes. I did that. It was a horrible mistake. The screen faded to black, but 5 seconds after, I saw a close-up of Tails' corpse. It was full of wounds. His guts were thrown out, and he was missing an eye. That image was so realistic. I almost vomited. Then another text box appeared. I hope you're happy. You killed me. Were you having fun with it? I know you were. Do you want me to do it again? Play with me again. I'm just a simple toy for you. A simple toy. For all of you! I was horrified. I felt something different inside me. Was it guilt? It couldn't be. I'm sure more players already did this with Tails, but was he really in pain? I never touched a retro game again. I spent my days playing in my PS3, and every time my character dies, I remember what happened. I will never forget. So, oh my gosh, well this is a real doozy creepypasta. Started good in the beginning, but towards the end, holy crap, it just fell apart in so many places. So, my thoughts on this creepypasta. This creepypasta actually reminded me a lot of Revenge on Mario. Like, no one really cares about what happens to these secondary characters. Like, with Luigi, no one really cared for Tails back then. Like, if he got hit, he got hit. And most of the time when he got hit, he pretty much took the hit for you, and you managed to succeed anyway. But this creepypasta kind of brings out the other side of Tails. Like, what happens if all those hits really did matter, and he never had the invincibility on him? So pretty much, that was okay. That was a good thought. But towards the end, though, like with the random text boxes appearing and going back to Chemical Plant Zone with all the black and distorted backgrounds and all the blood, really all the blood. What is with blood? I'm serious. It doesn't make a story scary. It just adds cheesiness to a story, and adding cheesiness to a story just makes the story worse. I mean, with all this blood that was added towards the end, it makes me wonder what the whole point of having a good beginning was for. Because if having a good beginning, it builds hype. And then when you destroy all the hype with just random amounts of blood and saying how Tails' corpse looks so realistic, like, that's the most realistic thing that he's ever seen, it's just not good. I'm serious. All you creepypasta writers out there, please, next time you make a creepypasta, don't add excessive amounts of blood. Just keep it good. Don't add blood, but don't add ridiculous amounts of blood. Don't say hyper-realistic or saying that a corpse looks extremely realistic, because a corpse looking really realistic, I just don't even know what to think of that. But overall, good beginning, horrible ending, obsessive amounts of blood, reminded me a lot of Revenge on Mario with the characters, how no one really cares about them, and so on and so forth. So, if you like what you see here, like, comment, subscribe, or do whatever you want, and if you could change anything in this creepypasta, please do it, because this thing really needs, the ending for this creepypasta really needed the major improvement. So peoples, peace out peoples, and a brr.